Good morning, class. Today is lesson number 4. Today is March the 22nd, the year of 2026. And the topic of this lesson is Jesus prepares for death. The time is between AD 26 and 30. Place is Jerusalem. Today's aim, the facts, is to know what happened in Gethsemane from Jesus' prayer of preparation to his betrayal and arrest. Good morning.
Good morning.
The principle is to understand that Jesus' betrayal and arrest was no accident. It was part of God's plan to satisfy his wrath and provide eternal life. And the application is to turn to Jesus and believe in him, recognizing that salvation comes through him alone. For he drank the cup of God's wrath for us, not for himself. He drank the wrath of God for us, for all of our sins, our iniquities, our problems, for all of the things that we have done and we are doing and we will do is the reason he has drank the wrath of God. Now, he prepares for his death. Prepares for it, which means he knew it was coming.
Oh, yeah.
You can't prepare for anything that you don't know is about to come. Mm-hmm. So he prepared because he knew it was coming. And we're coming up to this point, Easter's coming, Resurrection Sunday, which means Jesus has to die, so he has to be risen. So in this lesson here, we are at the point of when he was taken as a prisoner. This is when he was taken. It starts, now pay close attention to how it starts. It starts and says, and they came to a place which was named Gethsemane. And he said to his disciples, sit ye here while I shall pray. They came. Who all came? They came. It says they came. Who all came? The disciples, as well as Jesus. How many disciples was it with him? Not at this point. 11. It was 11. 11 at this point. Yeah. Because one had already left. Because as you remember, they was sitting down breaking bread. And Jesus was saying, one of you that dippeth in this cup with me will betray me. And at that moment afterwards, after all they done broken bread, he left. Because Jesus told him, he says, that which you has to do, go ahead on and get it done. Now, at this moment, all of them was sitting there saying, I would never betray you. I would never go against you. I would never do this. I would never do that. And he even told Peter, he said, Peter, you know what? You're going to deny me 3 times before the cock crows twice. Peter did not believe it himself. But see, the thing about this, in this lesson, it talks about how the spirit is strong, but the flesh is weak. Peter, in my mind, Peter was thinking, you know what? How humble I am to you, how much I respect you. There's no way I would ever turn my back on you. There's no way. My mama and daddy, I would have said there's no way I would ever betray my mother and my father because of how they has raised me growing up, the things that they put me through, the sacrifices that they've made for me. But I can guarantee at some point in my life, I have done something that my mama and daddy did not approve of. I have turned my backs on my mama and daddy at least once in my life. Even though I said there's no way I would ever. Same with Peter. Peter didn't even realize that he was denying Christ until he heard the cock crow that second time. And then that's when it came back to his remembrance. He said, oh Lord, he did say that. I have done this. But I'm not going to get into that whole story. Let's get into this lesson. this lesson. Okay, so they came to a place which is named Gethsemane, which is the oil press. The place where the olive oil was pressed from the olives. And the symbolization of this is the exact place where Jesus was pressed for us. Pressed for our sins. The things that we have done, the things that we are doing, and the things that we are going to do, whether we want to believe it or not. Jesus has paid the ultimate price for us. And he taketh with him Peter, James, and John, and began to be sore amazed and to be very heavy, and saith unto them, my soul is exceeding sorrowful unto death. Tarry here and watch. Now, he started off with 11. And at a certain point, he told 8 of them, he says, hey, y'all sit here. But you 3, Peter, James, and John, you 3, y'all follow me. And the way Jesus was feeling, because as I said before, he was preparing for death, which means he knew it was coming. He knew that this was the time. It was time for that to come. And he knew that the hour has come. So the way he was feeling. Now don't think that anything was wrong with Jesus because of how he was feeling. Because remember, Jesus was human. He was human. Just like us, we're human. Jesus was human. So he had the same feelings that we had. And if any of us knew that we was about to be put to death, we would have a certain feeling going on inside of us as well. Yes, right. So he was like, you know what? I have some heaviness on my heart. So I need y'all to come and pray with me. Matter of fact, along with this prayer, I want you most importantly to watch. Watch. That's what was important here. He says, watch. Because you can't notice anything if you're not watching. And as we go through this lesson, you kind of understand the reasons why they should have been watching. All of the things that was going on at this point here, if they had been watching, there's a lot of things that probably would not have happened as the time came down. But he says, and he went forward a little and fell on the ground and prayed. He prayed that if it were possible, the hour might pass from him. And he said, Abba, Father, all things are possible unto thee. Take away this cup from me. Nevertheless, not what I will, but what thou wilt. Mm-hmm. At this point, he was showing that he is just as human as we are. He was showing he is just as human as we. We know that if we was going through some things and we was about to face something very drastic, we're going to ask, please, take this from me. I don't want to go through this. Take it away from me. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, he gave God the acknowledgement that he has all the power. He gave him the acknowledgement that he had all. He says it right here. He says, Father, all things are possible unto thee. If you don't want this to happen, you got all the power to stop it right now. He knew this. Mm-hmm. Jesus knew that God had all the power to stop what was about to happen. But, nevertheless, not what I will, but thy will. Which means if what I am about to go through has anything to do with the plan that you have for all humanity, don't stop it on my account. Let this go. Let it happen. I am willing to continue this journey, go through everything, just as long as it goes along with your plan. Let it happen. And at that point, he understood. Jesus knew. Jesus knew. He says, you know what? My Father can take it from me if he wanted to. But if what I am doing is for a purpose, I am going to go along with what my Father said. I'm going to go along with what he asked. I'm going to endure whatever punishment I have to go through because it is a part of his plan. Now, and he cometh and findeth them sleeping. Now, Jesus done told him, he says, look, what I need for you to do, I need you to sit here, watch, and pray. Watch and pray. Look, you need to see everything that's going on. And along with that, I need you to be praying too, because most of the battles that you're going to be facing, they are either won or lost before it even arrives to you. And that's all based on prayer. You're either going to pray without ceasing or you're going to cease without praying. You're not going to do both. Many of us, we don't start praying to God until the problem arrives. And if we start praying before we even see the problem could be fixed before it reaches us. That's why we need to watch and pray. See what's going on into the world and pray. Things may look like they're going good, but pray to God that things continue. If there's any negative events that may be coming towards you, pray that God handles that or give you the strength to go through it. Mm-hmm. Because if we continue on the path that we are going on, which is just living our life until a problem arrives, when it gets to us, how are we going to face it? We can't wait and call God when we need God. We have to need God before the problem shows up. We have to have God with us before the problem shows up. Because if God is already there, when the problem comes, there is nothing that can defeat God. We are talking, like I said, I always like to go back to Genesis. I always like to go back to Genesis because in the beginning, there was nothing but void until God stepped out and said, let there be. Which means he is the creator of all things. And if he's the creator of all things, that means he's the creator of all good, all bad, all negative, all positive. He is the creator of everything. So if you have God with you, when the problem shows up, the problem that which he has created, if the problem shows up and he's with you, it's already handled. Because he is with you. The creator of what you're about to face is already with you. If you go to my house and I'm not with you, you step through my door and my dog is not in his cage, you in trouble. Because my dog might get you. Because he don't know you. But if you shows up to my house with me, who is responsible for the dog, my dog won't bother you because he acknowledges me.
That's right.
Which is like the problem that you have to face. The problem can't bother you if the problem acknowledges that you are with the Creator. We need to stop these things before it starts. Now, first off, it says that in verse 35, it says, and he went forward a little and fell on the ground and prayed. Let's not focus too much on those pictures that we see, where we see Jesus kneeling down, hands up to his face in a praying symbol, looking up to God, and he's praying like everything is all peaceful and at ease. Because in the verses before that, it says that his heart was heavy. He is hurting. He's in pain. And he fell to the ground. And he probably face first into the dirt. Might be laying there hurting, praying to God. Because, as I said, he's human and he knows what's about to happen. He knows that he's about to be put to death. He knows that people are about to come and take him. He knows that he's going to be tortured, just crazily tortured. He knows all of these things. He knows that the punishment that he's about to go through, no man will ever be able to endure it. He knows this. So yes, he is hurting. He's very painful. So don't look at this as he just kneeling down and all pleasant and all of this. He's hurting. Now, when he prays, and he tells these three, Peter, James, and John, he tells these three, he says, sit here, watch while I go pray. Watch and pray here, and watch while I go pray. As Jesus left to pray, he said his prayer that he was going to pray, and then he got up and walked back over there to where Peter, James, and John was, and he found them asleep. And he cometh and findeth them sleeping, and said to Peter, Simon, sleeping thou? Couldest not thou watch 1 hour? Jesus is hurting. Jesus is in pain. His heart is burdened from what he is about to endure, not because of what he has done, but because of us. Mm-hmm. He's about to go through some things because of other people. Not him, but other people. And the one little task that he asked his three, those three that's with him. Now, I don't understand. I don't really know the real reason why it was always these three. But I can only assume that they was his closest. It was either they was his closest or he was training them of how to lead in the event that he's gone. Mm-hmm. But whatever the case is, it was always these three. And at this particular time, Passover, at this particular time, it was custom for this day for them to stay awake and go through this day awake, but they're sleeping. After he has given them the instructions to watch and pray as I go pray. And when he come back and find them sleeping, he says, Simon, his government name. You know how it is. You know, my nickname from everybody on this side of the family was Macaroni. Okay, and they called me Macaroni. My mama and daddy, he called me either Ken or Old Man. And anytime they would call me that, I knew it wasn't no problem. Okay, I'm bouncing over there to them because, you know, you call me Macaroni or Ken or Old Man, you know, that's no issue. But soon as I hear my parents say, Kenneth Lakeith Davis, that's a problem. He called Peter Simon by his government name, as if he's acting like who he used to be or he's about to. He's going back to his old ways. Are you really sleeping after I said stay awake and watch? What was the issue that you couldn't stay up for 1 hour? 1 hour. You know, we have a lot of these issues today. We have a lot of these issues. What's the big idea? I asked you just to show up to church for me, and you couldn't show up just for 1 hour. It's a big deal. To a lot of people, it's a big deal. I don't want to go. Why I got to go for it? It's a big deal. But it's just 1 hour. 7 days out of a week. Do whatever you want to do 6 days out of the week. And one day I just need you here for 1 hour. And it's a big deal. Just like it was a big deal for them to stay awake and watch for 1 hour. We got to kind of understand how Jesus is feeling now. Yeah. His closest three. He's hurting. Mm-hmm. He's in pain because of these 3, the other 8, that 1, and everybody else in the world.
That's right.
He's in pain because of all of us. And he comes back to his closest 3 and find them not doing what he asked. Sleeping. What would happen if you was on your job and your boss comes and catches you sleep? There you go. You got that right. You would be fired. And these are his closest 3. That's supposed to be right here understanding everything that he's going through. And he comes back and finds them sleep. But he leaves and goes back to prayer. He says, and he cometh, watch ye and pray, lest ye enter into temptation. That's why I want you to watch and pray, because the spirit is always willing to follow God. But see, it's not the spirit. It's when we allow this flesh to take control. See, when the flesh takes control of the spirit can't do what it was brought here to do. Because we allows the flesh to take over.
Is that what he's trying to do for me right now? The flesh.
The flesh. The flesh. Says the spirit truly is ready, but the flesh is weak. And again he went away and prayed and spake the same words. The same words, Father, take this cup from me. But if it's your will, let thy will be done.
That's it.
The same words. And when he returned, he found them asleep again. For their eyes were heavy, neither wist they what to answer him. They ain't know what to say. When he came back and saw them sleep again, he looked at them and was like, I'm guessing that they opened their eyes up, looked at them. I ain't got no answers. No words. That's not like when you're talking to a child, you know how it is, and the child done messed up, and you in there trying your best to fuss with them, and they just stand there and look at you.
That's right.
They really don't have anything to say.
But they ain't got no stake in the game.
There you go. See, and right here, as Minister Sprott said, they had no stake in the game. See, what's going on right now is Jesus is about to face everything, because Jesus has known everything from the beginning. This whole time Jesus was walking this earth, he knew what the end was. That's why he's always stated, now's not the time. Now's not the time. Even when he was at the wedding, he was at the wedding and his mother says, you know what, we need some more wine. Wine is gone. He says, now's not the hour. Go ahead and we're going to do exactly what she said. Because now it's not the hour. He even got to Mount Calvary. He got up to the top of the mountain. He looked around. He says, now it's not the time. And he knew, regardless of who was behind him, they wasn't going to do anything to him, because now was not the time. But see, now he knows. Now it's the time. Now is the time. He is very invested in what's going on right now. They have no clue. They have no clue. That's why it doesn't mean as much to them as it do to him. So when he says stay up and watch and pray, why? Why? You the one want to go pray? You go pray. We'll be here just in case somebody walk up. We got you. If they hear noise, they might wake up. Which you already see that they'll wake up if they hear noise, because they woke up when Jesus showed up. But they wasn't invested. So for them to stay up and wait while their bodies was tired, he's all right. Ain't nothing going to happen. We'll just catch us a little shut-eye. That's what went down here.
Indeed, I like your wording better than your explanation. They weren't invested. Because what children don't know and what we don't know sometimes. We do got a stake in the game. We don't realize
That's it.
we got a stake. So I prefer your words better.
Yes.
They were not invested.
They wasn't as invested.
And you say about Jesus, about the death. What do y'all think was the biggest issue that Jesus had right here? You know, we see the death, but is that just death that he has to deal with? Because if it's just death, because we right now, truth be told, you know, our spirit is not afraid of death because we know what?
It's coming.
Well, not just that, but it's not the end.
It's not in
But then,
But he has to go through something
sin.
and sin gonna cause what?
His father to turn his back
Separation.
on us.
Mm-hmm.
So we see the death part, but you know, we're not, it's like you said, we're not really that concerned about the separation. Like, you know, we'll sin kind of like willy-nilly, not, you know what I'm saying? It's hard for me to say it, but we ain't quite as concerned about the separation. But him, he has never been separated from the Father. And he's like, my goodness, I have to, this is something here I got to drink.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
it's something we can never experience.
That's right.
They have been together since ever. And now, because like you said, because of our sins, now our sins gonna cause a separation.
Yes.
And we sleep.
And we sleep.
We ain't invested.
It's
Even
like-
now the church sleeping, we sleep. And he like, huh? Aren't y'all concerned about what sin does? It causes a gap.
David even said it, you know, Lord, don't take your presence
Yeah.
away from me.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
do
right.
it, Lord.
Even the 5 wise and 5 foolish virgins sleep. The church be sleeping when sin going on because, you know, yeah, we concerned about the body getting sick, and then, you know, we concerned about death, but just that spiritual death, we kind of glaze over there a little bit because, oh, you know, God's grace. God's grace. Like you say, what we keep doing what we do.
Yeah. It's our investment.
Exactly.
It is our investment. It's how we look at it.
Yeah,
And we need to get a little closer into
you all right.
into this reality. A little closer into reality. When I say a little closer in reality, I don't mean what we are going through here. I mean a little closer in reality based on what the Bible say. You know, the Bible tells us that there's life after death. The Bible tells us that our accounts is going to amount to whether or not we make it back to the kingdom. The Bible tells us what we need to do to make it back to the kingdom. But many of us, as he says, we sleep. Many of us, we look at the Bible, and a lot of us, sadly, a lot of us look at the Bible as just being reading material. And the sad part about that is it wasn't reading material when Jesus was here. It became reading material after Jesus.
Yeah.
And it became our material to understand where we need to be. This was put here for us. It wasn't put here for him. It wasn't put here for those that was following him. It was put here for us to understand what they went through and how to avoid the problems that they had faced. That's why it's here. Basic instructions before leaving earth.
Amen.
That's it. The basic instructions. When I say basic, I mean the bare minimum, the basic. And once you understand the basic, then God can put in you everything else that you need to get there. But you first have to get the basics. It's like military, basic training. You can't become a soldier until you get the basics. And you know, the funny part about that basic, it don't teach you how to be a soldier. Basic teaches you how to listen, pay attention to simple instructions and details. That's it. That's it. That's why when you get the basic training, they teach you how to walk. They teach you how, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. The basics. They teach you how to do things that mom and dad have been trying to teach us forever, like folding clothes. They teach you basics because if they can teach you how to listen to them and get this done right, then we can move on to making you a soldier. But if you can't get this, how you going to be a soldier? So if we can't get the basics in the Bible, how are we going to be a soldier in the army of the Lord? How can we do that?
So what happens if you don't pass basic training?
Oh, if you don't pass basic training, you got one or two options. You either go back home or keep repeating until you pass. Look, my training was 9 weeks. My training was 9 weeks. Took me 14 weeks to get out of basic training. My cousin, Zach, he took leave to go to my graduation. But the leave that he took, I failed the test. So he never showed up to my graduation because he had to go back when I graduated. So if we don't, we got a little time. I ain't gonna say we got a lot of time. We got some time to go through the Bible and try to get it right. Because God is teaching us. He's showing us right from wrong. So as we are going through this basic instruction, what we need to do is study the word, live by the word, and do as God commands. That's how you get through it. See, my problem was that book that they gave us, when I first got off that bus, that book they gave us, I said, man, I didn't go to school because I didn't want no more books. That was my only reason for going in the military. I didn't want to go back to school because I hated school. First thing they gave me was a book. Which is the reason why I tries to talk to all children. And I tells them school is more important than you think. For the rest of your life, you're going to be learning something. They're going to always give you a book to study something, take a test on it. My mother can even tell you she worked at Walmart. She had to take a test before she can get that job.
I figured that was the case because you're dealing with money, you're dealing with all that stuff.
Yeah, do that.
We just we don't think about it. Even with janitorial, because they deal with chemicals.
Yeah.
You mix the wrong chemicals, you out.
Yeah.
Badly, you out.
Yeah, you better go to school for that.
That's it. Test. Life and Christianity. It's the same. It's testing. It's a huge game. And we got to play this game just right. If you want to beat this game, you got to play it just right. There's only one right way to win this game. If you stray off of that path, you're going to lose. That's why we always got to walk the steps that has already been ordered for us. God has already if we watch, as he says, if we watch, we can see the steps that he already got there for us. We can see it. I didn't like coming to church. I hated coming to church, didn't want to come to church. Now, the thing about me was, why I got to go to church for? It ain't my thing. My daddy the preacher. That was me. My daddy was the preacher. Why I got to go for? But as these three, Peter, James, and John, they wasn't Jesus, but they had to go so that they can learn what Jesus had to do. That way, when the event that Jesus is no longer there, they can carry on. So in the event that Bishop Davis is no longer here, the things that I watched, I was able to carry on.
That's it.
And this is bigger than just you. That's what a lot of people fail to realize. Religion, Christianity, whatever word you want to use about God, it's bigger than you. You look at it as, this is my life. You're taking time out of my life to go to some place once a week for 1 hour. You're taking time out of my life, but it's not your life. It's everybody that's around you. By you neglecting God, nobody else around you going to receive God. See, because you fail to implement how important God is in your life, they're looking at you now. Look at me. I'm the head of my house. And if I neglect God, those that are following me in my house will look at me. Well, wasn't that important to Daddy? It's because if the head
Yeah.
stops, everything else dies.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what happens to a snake. You cut the head off.
The tail.
Now, the tail end might jump around for a little while. That's only because they're lost. They're going to move for probably the rest of the day. But they lost. They know not where they're going, what they're doing. They're just moving around thinking that this is what I'm supposed to do until it dies. So, when we're looking at what is our importance in Christianity, it's bigger than just us. It's bigger than just you.
Yeah.
It's everybody that is tied and connected to you. Just like those 8 that Jesus left at the beginning. By them following the instructions, all they had to do still was watch and see what was going on. But they followed those instructions. They had to follow some instructions. If they had have disobeyed what Jesus had told them, something else would have been messed up. And he cometh the third time. Like I said, this is 3 times. He cometh the third time and saith unto them, sleep on now and take your rest. It is enough. The hour is come. Behold, the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. But they wasn't watching.
So we just did let parents say, sleep on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get up when I say get up. Go ahead on and sleep.
you're right.
Deal with the consequences there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what my mother and father used to tell me. Say, all right, okay. And that was it. That was it. That was all they would say. After they done told you what to do, they would say, okay, all right, wait and see.
I tell you another thing too. I was out there being till you get up, you don't move, and something else gonna move.
Deal with the consequences too.
See, that's the way it was different with me and my kids. I didn't hit them to get them up. Just like when they say, they ask me to do something for them, if they don't go and do it when I tell them, they come back to me. The same goes for you, goes for me. I sit right there and act like I didn't hear them. Mama, I said, well, when I asked you to do a certain thing, did you move for me? What goes around comes back
Come
around.
around. That's right.
That's how I taught them.
Yeah.
You got to let them touch that heart.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
You do.
You got the burn.
Everything don't go one way all the time.
Lord.
Mm-hmm. You know, it says, the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of the sinners. It says, rise up, let us go. Lo, he that betrayeth me is at hand. Who was that betrayed him? Judas. And immediately while he yet spake, cometh Judas. Immediately. See, Jesus is telling them that everything that he was trying to say from the beginning is unfolding right now. So as I was saying, watch and pray, by you watching and praying, you would have understood everything that was going on. But because you failed to watch and you failed to pray, now they want to do something when trouble arrives. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. There you go. That's why it's too late. When trouble arrives, it's too late to start praying because the problem done showed up.
Yeah.
If you would have been praying before the problem showed up, the problem wouldn't have never showed up. Either the problem wouldn't have showed up or you would have been prepared to face it.
That's right.
Pray without ceasing. Immediately while he yet spake, cometh Judas, one of the 12, and with him a great multitude with swords and staves from the chief priests and the scribes and the elders. They came with everything as if Jesus was dangerous.
Yeah. You know this? A whole army.
A man that had nothing but words, kindness, helping hands.
Yeah.
But they came at him as if he was dangerous, a murderer, a thief, a smuggler. They came at him like he was a scary problem.
Yeah.
Swords and clubs. clubs they use for huge riots. That's what they used them for. Like a gang of people is coming. They use clubs to keep them off. And swords to kill who the club would not push back.
The one thing we got, I will go through getting ahead of this. But when he died on that cross, and then when he get ready to bury him in the ground, if they realize, one of them said he most dangerous now, he was. Can't stop the man. God had.
And he that betrayed him had given them a token, saying, Whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Take him and lead him away safely. Now, Judas told him, he says, look, the person that I kiss, that's Jesus. And which lets us understand that nobody knew what he looked like. Jesus looked like any one of us.
Right.
Nobody knew what he looked like. So they needed a sign. Just so Jesus didn't switch himself off with somebody else. You know, they needed somebody to say, okay, that's him right there. Don't let him escape because that's Jesus. So he says, well, the person that I kiss, that's him.
And the first thing he asked, Master, called him by his name.
See, Jesus already knew he was coming. That's why he says
Yeah.
the betrayer is at hand. And he was coming with somebody. So as he kissed him, let me go ahead and see it.
Yeah.
And he that betrayed him had given them a token, saying, Whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Take him and lead him away safely.
Safety.
Judas really didn't want anything bad to happen to Jesus. He said, take him away safely. Don't harm him. But you gave me some money. So that's why I turned him over to you, because you gave me something. I wanted that. So I turned him over to you. So now you go ahead and you punish him, then you let him go. I'm just guessing that's what he probably wanted. Probably wasn't, but that's how I'm interpreting it. And as soon as he was come, he goeth straightway to him and saith, Master, Master, and kissed him. He acknowledged Jesus for who he was.
Yeah, you it right there.
Master. That's almost like I go to my mother, my father, and say, Mama, Daddy. Give him a big hug and a kiss. But I turn him over to the enemy. Somebody that you love. You show the enemy who they are, and you turn them over to the enemy. For what? Something that you're not even going to use.
And you know, it's amazing that this happens in real life.
Oh, yeah.
People, some people is in the grave because somebody kissed them.
Yeah. You know, it's funny that you say that, because that would really, honestly, it would really enlighten a lot of people about how important the Bible really is. Because as you look at the Bible as being just reading material, the Bible is a true story. The Bible is a true story that's going on right now. Everything that you're reading in the Bible right now is happening right now.
That's why I say come alive.
So then, what's the problem then? You said before, what they doing?
They sleep.
They sleep.
They sleeping.
The word coming forward.
They are not as invested.
You got wars and rumors of wars. Because, you know, the Bible talk about, like, you know, have wars centered around Israel. And you seeing it nowadays. People like, oh, man, you know what's going on? Like, pretty much the whole world seeing this. All these wars around Israel. They're like, oh, man, what's going on? Oh, Israel fighting again. They don't see it. It's in the Bible.
Yeah.
If you read the Bible, you will see it's not just by chance.
Uh-huh.
All this going on, all these wars, the rumors of wars. they want peace. The world want peace. It's like, no, they looking for man to give peace. They're setting up the Antichrist right there in church house.
Yeah, a preacher one time preaching about that, about you sleeping in a dangerous time.
You are correct. You are correct. Sleeping ready. I don't see it coming. And then, you know, and that's why he come back for the church too, because that's why the church will start going to sleep. By them 5 verses, they say, okay, I got to get y'all out of here. Because y'all starting to doze off too.
You know, it's like you look at this as history. They were killed for talking about God. Okay, that was way back in the day. They were killed for talking about God. Then we move a little farther into more modern time. They had to hide just to talk about God. And it move a little bit farther into some modern time. Nobody stayed home. Once they no longer had to hide, every household was empty on Sunday worshiping God. Churches were full to the point to where people were standing outside the doors because they couldn't fit in. And if it got to that point, they sit outside in the yard and do it. Now we move to our time. You see how this thing goes in. See, we're thinking about how church is not that important, but if we really look deep into the Bible, you find that at certain points, God had to come and destroy things to try to bring life back to existence as he wanted it. So as we're starting to fall away from going to church, worshiping God, trust and believe. As Minister Spryden done mentioned, we're hearing rumors of wars. These things are going to happen because there's a lot of us that, look at that word again, that is no longer invested in church, no longer invested in God, no longer invested into what happens next. We want to all get to heaven, but nobody wants to go through what we got to go through to get there. Everybody understands that we got to die one day, but I'm going to enjoy life because we live by that motto, YOLO. You only live once. And by living by that motto, it's not a bad motto to live by because you're supposed to enjoy yourself while you have time. But people take this and say, well, you only live once, so I'm going to live my life to the fullest and I'm going to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, where I want to do it, how I want to do it. And God is the last one on your mind. And when you're living like that, when that day comes, you ain't got to ask if you can make it into the kingdom because you already know where you're going. If God was never on your mind, you know exactly where you're going. The Bible tells us this.
Solomon already said, I'm going to try all this. He said, I'm telling you, without Christ, you can't make it in this life without him.
But the sad part is, they think they're going to heaven because usually when you go to funerals, how many people you see when they preaching on, they going to hell. You usually say, they're going to heaven, yeah. People that never went to church. Oh, yeah, they're looking down on me from heaven.
Never said that.
The rich man, you know. The rich man didn't know you were going to hell until when? He got to hear. He looked his eyes. Oh.
Yeah. And see, that's because the only ones that know is the one that was laying in there and God. Nobody else knows. Everybody can assume that based on your actions around them, they can assume that, well, they lived a bad life, they're going to hell. Or they lived a good life, they're going to heaven. But you don't know everything. You only know what was presented in front of you. Only that person and God knows the truth. That's why if we actually pay attention to what the Bible says, the Bible tells us not to judge, or else we shall be judged. Because we cannot dictate or observe or say where somebody is going based on how they act in front of us because we was not everywhere. God was. They was everywhere that they went, and God was everywhere.
He knows the heart of man.
That's it. That's what he meant.
So every man when that day comes, every man knows whether they're going to make it in or not based on their actions and their works.
That's it.
And they laid their hands on him and took him. And one of them that stood by drew a sword and smote a servant of the high priest and cut off his ear. Now, look here. This, see, now this is the thing here. This is the real reason why they should not have been asleep. Because if he would have done exactly as Jesus asked and watched and prayed, they'd have saw everything that was going on. They'd have heard everything that Jesus was saying. And when they'd arrived, they'd have known that it was the time.
Yeah.
So Peter would never have pulled that sword and did what he did, because he would have also understood that this was all God's plan. But when we're sleeping on God, we have no clue that the things that's going on around us is God's plan.
Yeah, no matter what,
I
yeah.
know that's right.
I be sleeping too. And then I'm striking stuff with the sword.
But based on the actions now, Jesus answered and said unto them, Are ye come out as against a thief with the sword and with staves to take him? I was daily with you in the temple teaching, and ye took me not. But the scriptures must be fulfilled. The scriptures must be fulfilled. So if they had not have been,
What I heard Jesus said.
they'd have heard Jesus say, the hour has now come.
Well, that's right.
They'd have heard him say these things. And matter of fact, when Peter took the sword and cut off the ear, Jesus rebuked him. Jesus, what did you do? Jesus got him. Because that was not the plan. You were not supposed to act rational. You became a radical. You was not supposed to be that. You was not supposed to do this. And now, had I have been one of the soldiers, now this is me, this is based on how I'm feeling. Had I have been one of the soldiers, I'd have left Jesus right there where he was. But it was not in their plan. I'm going to tell you, those soldiers was doing what Peter, James, and John should have done. Peter, James, and John was given instructions to follow, and they didn't. Those soldiers was given instructions to go and grab Jesus and bring him back. That's what they did. So regardless of what happened, when they got there, they saw that target. They went at that target. Peter struck the ear, cut the ear off. Jesus touched him on the side, and his ear came back. They looking. All of them see this. All of them see that.
Yeah.
What? This is somebody that they do not want to mess with. Even the one whose ear was gone and now it's back. But they had to follow instructions. And they followed instructions not because of what their bosses said, but because it was God's plan. Now, he says here, Are ye come out as against a thief with swords and with staves to take me? I was daily with you in the temple teaching, and ye took me not. But the scriptures must be fulfilled. Everything that Jesus was doing is the reason that they're here today. So Jesus was doing all of these miracles and talking and teaching and preaching. He was doing all these things, and everybody was with him the whole time. All these people were seeing him. That's why he kept coming here. He kept going there, because they wanted to get him here, but they couldn't, because now wasn't the time. They tried to get him here, but they couldn't, because now wasn't the time. All these places, Jesus, he was basically telling them, he says, all these places that you was with me, you couldn't take me because you couldn't take me. Mm-hmm. Now you can get me because now it's the time.
Yeah.
I am doing what the plan was. That's why he says the scriptures must be fulfilled. So here I am. Now take me. Go ahead and look good, but this is all in the plan. And they all forsook him and fled. What? all of the disciples that was with him this whole time through his ministry that says that I am a follower of you, I believe in you, I will never forsake you, I would never mistreat you, I would never turn my back on you. All these people that said this to Jesus, soon as these guards took them, they left. Mind your friends, is what I'm saying. Mind your friends, because everybody that's smiling your face ain't smiling for you. Okay, they're not always going to be with you. They're not always ride or die. Sometimes they're going to ride until times get hard and then they gone.
That's right.
And there followed him a certain young man, having a linen cloth cast about his naked body. And the young men laid hold on him. And he left the linen cloth and fled from them naked. Why he ain't got no clothes on? He just took his clothes off and left. All the other disciples gone. But there's one now. Bible readers. Now I'm telling you what Bible readers say. Bible readers say that this was Mark. That's what Bible readers say. But I'm going to tell you what the Bible say. The Bible don't give us a name of who this person is. So therefore, the only thing that the Bible wants us to understand is that his nakedness means that he was ashamed of what had just happened. He was ashamed for having to flee away from the man that he was supposed to have been following. He was ashamed of this, and nakedness always indicates shamefulness. Adam and Eve put on stuff around them because they was ashamed of their nakedness. So he fled because he was ashamed. You don't read about the other disciples being that ashamed of their nakedness, or being ashamed because they fled, or being naked, leaving because of what happened to Jesus. You don't hear about them other ones, but you hear about this one. It only takes one person to really understand where they messed up. It only takes one person to understand where the line has been crossed. Only one person. And it takes that one person to let it be known that we messed up. All of them that fled, as I said before, the things that you do in your life doesn't just reflect on you, but it reflects on those that are around you as well. That's why when everybody started denying who Christ was, people was picking them out in crowds. There was crowds of people around, and people was actually walking up saying, that was one that was following them. That was one that was following them. That was one that was, because you have a picture for not just yourself, but for everybody that is tied and attached to you as well. Like True Fellowship. When people see any of us out there in the streets, yeah, they might know our names, but what are we tied to? We're tied to True Fellowship. So anything that we do out there in the streets, it's not just Sister Maddie, I don't know why she went out there and did this. She know better than that. No, it's going to be True Fellowship people ain't no good. I'm not going to that church because them people don't act right over there. Based on one person. It was meant for us not to understand what this person's name was. But it was meant for us to understand that he understood where he went wrong. That's why it was one person that was acknowledged as showing himself in a shameful light based on what he has done. He acknowledged that. Many of us will never acknowledge where we go wrong. We'll mess up day to day, and we'll still walk amongst all the good people and act like we ain't did nothing wrong. But it takes that one person that's going to acknowledge the fact that I just messed up. That's the only way you're going to fix it. If you never acknowledge where you went wrong, it'll never get fixed.
That's right.
You can't help anything that has never been addressed. So by him addressing the simple fact that he messed up, I feel ashamed of what I have done, oh, he can grow from here. He can grow from here because he acknowledged that. He's acknowledged the fact that what I have done, the way I have just treated this man that's carried me this long, I feel bad for that. So from this day forward, I will never do this again. I'm going to always put my best foot forward. I'm going to live by God's command. I'm going to do as God say. And we can only do that if we find fault in ourselves. But as long as we're still pointing fingers at other people, we can never fix our own situations. I'm done with my Sunday school lesson. I'm going to turn this over into the hands of the superintendent.
Amen.